Good morning. Greetings from Maine, everyone. My name is Tammy, and I'd like to welcome you to sewflysuniqueboutique. Today is May 23rd, 2025, and this is FlossTube number 91. I'd like to welcome anybody who's new to my little corner of Berwick, Maine, and anybody who comes and watches me regularly. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and all you new people, I hope you do the same thing. Like and subscribe. Alright, this start number 3. Batting 1,000 today. Oh my goodness. It's been a rough week. I didn't get as much stitching as I wanted to get done, but it is what it is, right? Right. Okay, I did get it finished though. This is from the Witch's Stitcher. It is a Frankenstein cupcake. It was a freebie. And technically there's supposed to be 4 bolts of lightning. I only did 2. They were supposed to be done in yellow, but I did them in gray. Not realizing that they were supposed to be yellow. Like I said, it's been a rough week. And the bolts on the side of the cupcake are done in a sulky. And the only thing I changed was the color of green because I didn't have it. But other than that, everything else is it's cute. This is going to be a belated birthday present for a friend. And since this is Memorial Day weekend, I'd like to welcome everyone to Gnome Frenzy. Yes, this is going to be the weekend of the gnome. 24 hours of, well, more than 24 hours, but a whole, starting today, as soon as I get off here, which should probably be around 11:30, depending upon how much I talk, till Monday. Gnomes, and more gnomes. And that's what we're going to do. Or what I'm going to do. If you care to join me, please do. If you like gnomes, I mean, I don't know why I have this gnome thing going on. But I've been watching Laura Stitching by the Shore for a very long time. I've been watching Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, for a very long time. And I just started watching somebody new today who also has somewhat of a gnome obsession. But I don't know what the thing is with the gnomes, because I never liked those little garden ones that you can find. But when I first started watching Laura and first started watching John the Caffeinated Crafter and even Alara, we're doing these gnomes. It's crazy. I'll try all of these things. But anyway. So we started with that. I have a couple that I did start. One was a restart and 2 were just regular restarts, if that's what you want to call them. I did have a poll up, but I didn't realize that I screwed it up. But I'm going to have different theme weekends for the rest of the year. So hopefully I'll pick something that you guys like, and I'll have people who will join me. This is the restart. This is the Easter gnome. Cute. He's so cute. He really is. He's so cute. And I'm doing him on, I started this on May 20th, which was my anniversary. 8 years married to my wonderful husband. I'm stitching it on a 18 count teal dyed Ada that I did myself. And I'm using all the called for DMC. And I did start this once before. And this is from Favorite Gnome on Etsy. Or Cute Embroidery. And here, as you can see, I got the nose in. I'm working on the ear. Got part of the hat done. So, my goal for this is 2,500 stitches out of 5,031 stitches. I got 500 complete, and I'm at 99.94% done. I worked on this for a couple of days. And what I'm going to try to do is work on these, you know, pick one a month that I can work on. The other one that I started was my army gnome, and that was that one got started on the 18th. There he is. My husband was in the army for a couple of years. He was stationed in Germany for a while. But yeah, there he is. He's so cute. And there is a Air Force gnome, because somebody had gotten in touch with me, and when she saw on Wednesday I had done an extra of what I wanted to do. When she saw some of the gnomes, I enabled her, and I was like, what? I did what? Usually you guys enable me. So she ended up getting a Navy gnome, because her husband was in the Navy, or he's still in the Navy, or retired from the Navy or something. And when I mentioned that my husband, you know, worked at the Navy Yard in Kittery, she's like, well, maybe you should do the Navy one. And I got thinking about it, and I'm like, and then I happened to see it. I was like, you know, my dad was in the Air Force. I think I might do that one, because I was born in California on an Air Force base. So here is, and I started this on May 18th. This is also from Favorite Gnome on Etsy. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Fossil Ada, which is from Forbidden Fiber Company. It's their color of the month, fabric of the month. And I'm using the called for DMC. And my goal is 2,000. And out of 4,347, I've gotten 415 stitches complete, and I am at 9.55%. These ones happen to be on Pattern Keeper. Make sure that's, yeah. So, I will be pulling this one out again this weekend at some point. And working on it. And I am using the called for colors. Okay, and I have these in my little bat bag. Alright, and then I started, and I have to get something different. I started on May 22nd, which is Thursday. This is the Fox Gnome. What the heck? There we go. And I am using 18 count mint Ada, and I'm using called for DMC. I've only got 102 stitches right now, because I just started yesterday, but like I said, it's been a rough couple of days. And so the goal is 2,500, and this is what it looks like. So I'm not quite sure if I'm right on track or if I have to frog some out, but here's what I've completed. This part here I'm not sure about, so I'm going to work my way over this way. And this has one blend and the Easter gnome has a blend. At least I got an earring. Okay. So there's the fox gnome. And when I did my extra on Wednesday, the crow stitcher, Andy, the crow stitcher, she watched it, and I wanted to make sure she hasn't felt good all week, so I wanted to make sure she was feeling okay. And she had mentioned that there were a couple that she liked, and I'm going to pick one of those and do them. So, and then I worked on dog lessons for my letter L. Dog lessons for people. Be loyal and faithful. Play every day. Drink lots of water. Forgive quickly. Avoid biting when a growl will do. Sit close and listen. Follow your instincts. Give more than you receive. Take naps. Be a best friend and love unconditionally. This is for Patch's dog. My dog. And I got 355 stitches. So that was... I started this in 2022. I don't remember when. It's definitely slated for finish. I'm doing it on 14 count white data, and I'm using all the color 4 DMC except for 807. I have completed 1,550 stitches since I started counting. And I really should cut this down. Yeah. So, what did I get done? I got the people, play every day. No. I had play every day. I did forgive in the heart. This way. And that's all. But it came to almost 400 stitches, so I'm good with it. So yeah. This will be pulled out again for challenges, and hopefully, with any luck, I will get it completed. Okay, so that was for the letter L, and I had 3 L's. I had an L in soldier, one in Memorial Day, and one in flag. Okay. Now, I am going to work on the October 31st spool. I don't have it with me, but I am going to work on that for the letter O's. And Icy Winter for the letter I's, and Rudolph Peking for the letter R's. And I still have my goal to finish for Gaia. Okay, so my other goal was finish the gift stitching, which I did. Start the army gnome, which I did. And I also worked on Sophie's sheep, and I got the goal completed. There it is. I'm doing this on... Okay. I started this on April 15th. Happy Tax Day. 2025. I'm doing it on this 18 count Havisham from Picture This Plus. I'm using the DMC. My goal was 700 and I got 706. So I finished the C and the K. I did this down here. I worked, added some more of the sheep. I added the feet, the wool company. And here it is. It's very washed out, this light in here, but it is a cream color with purple accents, and I love it. I think it's great to work on. So I am doing this in DMC. I'm not doing it in the sample threads, the gentle arts. And I will pick this up again soon. I did work on the Christmas Quaker, but I didn't work on it very much. I just was not feeling it. And then to top it all off, it was, I have to pull out what I did. So, or at least some of it. This is the Christmas Quaker. It's from the Daily Pattern Post. I started this on April 7th, 2025. I'm doing it 1/1 on a 25 count Silver Moon Udana, and I'm using 931. And my goal was 2,200 stitches, but I only got 2,068, and out of 28,230, I am at 7.33%. And I recounted and recounted, and I don't understand why it's coming up wrong, but this right here is what I did, and I have to take all of this out, this line here. But these I counted right, but it's just not coming up the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to have to move this down one. And this is going to go away for a little while, because I think I'm done with this particular one for a little while. Just not forever. I'll haul it back out, because I know it's on one of my wheels. I'll definitely be doing that again. Okay. Oh, I didn't write this one down. Well, Harry Potter was my focus for coverage for the month of May. And I did work on it the other day. Alright, where are you, Harry? Here's what he looks like. This is from Shushuda Designs on Etsy. And I forgot to write him down, but I did work on it. Okay. I started this on December 5th, 2024. I'm using an 18 count easy count. I'm using the call for DMC. The goal is 1,000 stitches every time I pick it up. I have completed 6,639 out of 5,760, and I am at 63.18%. I think I got, no, I think I got a couple hundred anyway. Here's where I am. working on this part here, color completing. So I have completed a color, actually completed 2 colors, but the black is all done, which is right here. And then once I finish up this gray here, that one will be complete too. And I can just move on to the very last and hopefully finish up this one. So that's that. Because the very last one has a lot of white and some gray. I did work on it, I just forgot to write it down on my list. Okay, and then I did get 500 in the gnome, the Easter gnome. I started with 119 and then I added more to that, and what I added was 381, which gave me over 500. So like I said, I didn't work on much. And then I was looking at something else I wanted to work on, and I thought about Gaia, but I wasn't feeling it. I thought about a few other of the goals that I worked on, or was going to work on, and just didn't get there. But I did work on summer refreshes. This is from Summer House Stitchworks, and I'm using the Call for DMC. I'm doing this on an 18 count white Aida, and I finished the red and I finished the gray. Finished the red and the gray. So the next color I'm going to work on is green, and then there's some more there's a little bit more gray, and then the red. And I got 594 stitches in, so the goal is complete. So I'm very happy with that, and then the next time I pull one of these out, it's either going to be spring or winter. I'm not quite sure which one. It doesn't really matter to me either way. They're all slated. In fact, I all want them to be finished. Did I work on my pegs? No, I did not. I didn't work on very much at all this week. I just wasn't feeling it. So let's move on to plans. I don't like that pen. So, before we move on to plans, there were a few things that I wanted to show you that I got in stash enhancements. I got this on Amazon from the Quilting Bear. It is a paw needle minder, which I thought was very cute. I got my Forbidden Fiber Company Fabric of the Month. It's called Taupe of the Morning. And it's not gonna show up in this light, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful neutral. They also sent for Forbidden Fiber floss. This is called Sapphire. And they sent Sugar Plum, which is a beautiful variegated purple, very dark variegated purple. Don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but if they want to keep sending me free floss, I'll take it. And then I told you last week that I used my 24 bobbin system, or my bobbin system. I had $24, and I got the last one of the Snowman series called the Gardener, which I love, and I got Quaker Spring from Jardin Privé. And what I'm going to do is I've got some different colors of 25 count that I got from Everything's Cross Stitch, because they have more of a color selection than 1, 2, 3 Stitch. And like, I'm going to do this one on either pink or yellow. Do the summer on whatever color I don't do spring on. Maybe get a orangish one for fall and a blue for winter. And then use, like if I did this one on yellow, I would use a green thread. If I do it on pink, still use a green. For the summer, I would use like a pinkish or yellow. Don't know. Or, you know, for the autumn, use browns or darker oranges. And for the winter, use a darker blue. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's get started on plans and goals. Alright, now I told you that Andy had picked a couple that she really liked, the Crow Stitcher. And I have to agree with her, and I think I know which one I'm going to do. Because I do have some 18 count, I think, that would look really good with this one. So I'm going to work on my Easter gnome, I'll work on my fox gnome, and I'm going to work on my army gnome. So there's 3. So plans. Okay. Add 500 to fox. Add 200 to Easter gnome. Well, we're just going to get it to 700, so 200 and some change. And I usually go over anyway. No. Yeah. We're going to put 3. to Army Gnome. Okay. So now there were two that the crow stitcher really liked, and one of them was the Halloween gnome, and I like that one too. But the other one that she liked was back up here. Just have to find it. Oh, where are you? This is why I try to keep them all together when I download them. She liked the chamomile tea, and that's the one I'm gonna start. So, because it's very springy, start chamomile. And there were a few others. There's an autumn gnome, which I don't have a picture for, but it's from the same favorite gnome. Start autumn gnome. And then there was this one, and I have to admit, I wanted to start the carpenter and the executive assistant because those were the careers that my parents had when they were working. But I think I'm gonna wait a little bit for that one. I think I'm going to start. Find it. That's not it. I also have a summer gnome. There he is. This is from FlossTube.com. But this is the one. This one I really want to do. If I can find it. No. When I was looking through my tablet after I did my thing, I found this one, and I was like, oh. Chocolate gnome. And this is definitely from favorite gnome. So we're gonna start the chocolate gnome. And I'm just gonna get, as many. They're all gonna have a goal for 2,500, and they're all gonna get a somewhat decent start. Chocolate. And I can't eat chocolate anymore, so, well, I can if I eat a specific kind, but paying almost $4 for a bar of chocolate's a little much, but I do, because I like the chocolate, and since it's the only type I can eat, and do what I can. The other one, I thought about starting the peacock gnome, but I changed my mind on that one. I also thought about starting the gnome, St. Patrick's Day gnome with the beer, but I changed my mind on that one as well. So I might still do it. I don't know. Here he is. That's the St. Patrick's gnome with the beer, or beer with gnome with a beer. I might. I don't know. But I found this one and I kind of like it better. And I do believe this one is also from Favorite Gnome. Yes. And it's called Lucky Gnome. And there's also, this one is just absolutely adorable. It is the Scarecrow Gnome. So, I might just start them both. I don't know yet. But I get a good set of plans right now. So, we'll take it from there. So, it is gnomes, and more gnomes for me this weekend. If anybody would like to join me, that would be awesome. In my gnome frenzy, yay! Gnome frenzy, yay! If you'd like to. Oh, there's also one other that I wanted to show you. Now that I'm thinking about it. And this one I printed off because I have to go through all my pages of purchases in order to find it, and I can't. On the computer, I can, you know, put in, say, gnomes on Etsy to search purchases, but if I do it on my tablet, I have to do it in page numbers. Whatever. But I also absolutely love that one. That's a penguin gnome. King penguin, royal penguin. I don't know what it's called, but it's penguin. And this is the coffee gnome. I don't know if I'm going to start all these, but I do know that I have a lot of them on my thing. I do believe I have a lot on my start wheel. Yeah. So just for giggles, we're going to see what the start wheel brings up. Spring quicker. Oh. Yeah, we could start that after this weekend. Start. Spring. Quicker. And everything that I start from now on is going to have at least anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 stitches. Just to make life a little bit easier for me, that way I'm not always trying to figure out. You know? And once they get to that goal, then we put them in a whip pile, and then we just spin the wheel again. So there will be goals that I'll be trying to get continuously. Okay, so on Wednesday, after I did my thing, my extra, I was sitting on the couch and all of a sudden I felt very nauseous. Hasn't been the first time, won't be the last. I'm okay. Nope. My heart started beating weird. And yes, I have had valve replacement surgery. During that surgery, they also did an ablation, and they did 2 bypasses. That's why I was in surgery for over 7 hours. So, yeah. And then to find out that my heart, it'll have a beat, and then you have a beat here and a beat here, okay? I ended up having an extra beat in the middle. Well, I could feel it. And I didn't like that. So I ended up in the emergency room Wednesday afternoon. Well, they weren't sure what was going on, and they did all these tests, and took blood, and they ended up giving me 2 IVs full of fluid, and evidently my magnesium level was low, so they ended up giving me, some fluids plus magnesium on top of that. One had the fluids plus the magnesium, the other one was just fluid. So I was in there until probably almost 5, and I got there a little afternoon. But when you tell them you're having a heart issue, they usually get you in and out really quick, or they get you in quickly. So yeah, I did that. That's not how I wanted to spend my Wednesday afternoon, but, well, come to find out, I was dehydrated. And the fact that my sugar level was at like 200, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what? Well, since I hadn't had, I was still drinking coffee at that point. That's probably the reason why I was a little dehydrated. So, and I did have something to eat before I went. Obviously, it wasn't something I probably should have had, but, it is what it is. So, I did that, and, yeah. So, I drove myself, and this is what I mean, because I was feeling nauseous before I left. And then to make yourself car sick while you're driving and still feeling nauseous, that's not a good thing. And they had to do a COVID test, and they had to do a few other things, and put an IV in my arm and the whole bit. And I'm like, And I don't like getting I don't like needles anyway, so the fact that they, put the IV in while trying to distract me just pissed me off, so to speak. But, you do what you gotta do, right? So that's how Wednesday went, and this week, because of, I felt better the past couple days. Yesterday was, I was just tired, because I woke up, way early. And I did catnap a little bit. Today, same thing. Just a little tired, but I'm sorry. I'll survive. So yeah, that was my Wednesday. So not the most pleasant way to, spend a day, but hey, it is what it is, right? And that's the end of that. So no more life. My life is not that exciting. So anyway, I was able to get my extra done on Wednesday, like I promised. It was a very short one. And I did start a few of my gnomes already, as you know. But I'm not sure which ones I'm going to start. I've got 3 on there that I definitely want to start, but the other ones, I don't know. I don't know, if I get 200 or 300 stitches on them, cool, you know. And if I add more gnomes to my list, awesome. It'll be I've wanted to start these gnomes for a long time. I was hoping to do it this year, but I didn't, you know, I was going to do 25 gnomes for 2025. I changed that up a little bit. But I'm thinking, and I am thinking towards next year. I'm thinking where I do the stitch awards, and will I continue to do that? I don't know. Will I continue to do the stitch by color? I don't know. But I might just set up goals, monthly goals, and if I finish those goals, I earn, you know, my dollar for, you know, new patterns and such. And if I get a certain amount of stitches complete, or a finish, any finishes that I may or may not get, when I finish something, same thing. I earn a bobbin or two. You know, if I get a certain amount of stitches completed, then like say I put 2,000 stitches down for the chocolate gnome. I finish those 2,000 stitches. Each 1,000 is a bobbin. So if I finish those 2,000 stitches within the month, then I get, you know, 2 bobbins. And however many bobbins I get, I earn for each month. Say I go 3 months and I don't buy anything, then I earn however many goals. Say I get, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8,000 stitches. It's, you know, 8 bobbins. So that'll give me $8, or however, you know, many I earn. That's just an example. Because I'm not doing a certain amount of finishes for the year again. I'm not doing a certain amount of starts. It's going to be mostly, you know, stitch what I want when I want. So if I want to do a year of gnomes, I definitely have enough gnome charts that I could do that. If I want to do nothing but gnomes all year, I'll do nothing but gnomes all year. If I want to do nothing but Quakers, like I did this month, I will do nothing but Quakers, or monochromatic. Next month is summer, and any summer stitches you may or may not have. I have my deep sea Quaker, which I want to work on because that's summer to me. I have my summer refreshes, which maybe I'll finish next month, or July, or whatever. July is, I'm going to turn that into not Christmas in July, but Jingle Jangle July like I did last year. Only because when I was a kid growing up, they had the claymation movie Year Without a Santa Claus, and the 2 major elves in there were Jingle and Jangle. So that's how I came up with Jingle Jangle July. So it's basically Christmas in July, just different, you know. But yeah, I might do some ornaments. I don't know. And then, you know, do the, I don't know if we're going to do Spooky Sampler September again, or Spooky September. I think we might just do September, and then in October we do Halloween stitching. And then I'm not doing Nevermore November again, because that was I didn't do well with that. But I did love the participation in my December, Deck the Halls December ornament sale, birthday sale, because my birthday's in December, and I kind of stole the page from Laura Stitching by the Shore in her October, pumpkin October sale. And I've done a couple, no, I've got a few that I want to start in October. I don't think I have a pumpkin gnome, but I do know I have some Halloween gnomes that may have pumpkins. I'll have to check. We'll take it from there. So, other than that, you know, there was a lady I was watching this morning, and I've heard about her from a couple of the FlossTubers. Her name is Katie, and she is Jeremiah's mom. It's Katie, parentheses, Jeremiah's mom on FlossTube. Oh my god, this woman, she's so cute. She really is. She's so cute. Her son Jeremiah still lives with her, and I'm not sure. To me, he seems, you know, very cute. But he's like 27, so I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of guys still live with their moms into their 30s, so I don't know. I don't care. I mean, he's cute. Redhead. Oh, he is a ginger. And he's got his own little fan club on his mom's channel, which is cute, you know, and he is cute, with all the ginger, you know, he's got a little mustache, a little beard, and, you know, hair. Very cute kid. But yeah, so, but if you have a chance, check her out. Like I said, her name is Katie, and she is a major gnome lover as well. So she does some of the things that she was showing were those little Jim Shore Mill Hill kits, the little ornaments, the little gnome ornaments. Oh my god, she did such a good job. I have a hard enough time trying to finish one, let alone do more than one. I haven't worked on my owl in a long time. Maybe I will in July. I don't know. We'll see. So, I hope you all have a wonderful, you know, Memorial Day weekend. If you are going to join my Gnome Frenzy, I would really appreciate it. You can get in touch with me on Instagram or through my Facebook. My Facebook page is sewflysuniqueboutique, and my Instagram is sewflys.uniqueboutique on Instagram. And you can send me pictures that way, or get in touch with me that way. Or you can email them to me. sewflysuniqueboutique@gmail.com. I'll put them down in the description box below. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I think we're going to get rain all weekend. Yay. So, anyway. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next Friday. Bye.